Street Fighter V is here, and a new era has begun. If you're looking to get in on the action, this guide will bring you up to speed and give you a fighting chance. Each character has 6 normal attack buttons: Light Punch, Medium Punch, and Hard Punch, and Light Kick, Medium Kick, and Hard Kick. The effect of pressing each of the 6 normal attack buttons changes depending on whether you are crouching, standing, or jumping. Each character also has a few unique attacks, or command normals, which are performed by holding a single direction while pressing a normal attack button. Unique attacks generally have a more specific use than normal attacks. Hitting your opponent with attacks, of course, deals damage. However, if you get hit as you start to perform an attack, you'll receive a counter hit, which deals even more damage. Blocking is performed by holding back, the direction facing away from your opponent. Simply holding back will perform a standing block, while holding down back will perform a crouching block. Most attacks can be blocked regardless of whether you choose to standing block or crouching block. But overhead attacks must be blocked standing, while low attacks must be blocked crouching. Jumping normal attacks are considered overhead and require a standing block to be defended against, while crouching kick attacks are considered low and must be crouch blocked. The prevalence of low attacks often makes holding down back the go-to when you're on the defensive. Just be sure to keep an eye out for overheads and jump-ins. Some jumping attacks have the capability of hitting from behind, which is known as a cross-up. Cross-ups are a bit tricky because the direction required to block changes as your opponent crosses over you. Each character's jump arc and cross-up attack varies, so be sure to familiarize yourself with what each character can do. Throws play an important role since they cannot be blocked. If an opponent is blocking most of your attacks, a throw will open them up and keep them guessing. To throw your opponent, press Light Punch and Light Kick simultaneously. You can also perform a back throw by holding back while throwing. Though throws cannot be blocked, players can tech or break throws by pressing throw at roughly the same time that their opponent does. It's important to note that you can't combo into throws, and you can't throw someone while they're blocking your attack. The opponent must be in a neutral state in order to be thrown. Finally, as you may have noticed, throws result in a knockdown, which gives a significant positional advantage. Knockdowns are caused by throws, crouching hard kicks, or sweeps, and certain special moves. When you get knocked down, you still have a few recovery options. No recovery, or a delayed rise, is what happens if you don't press anything when your character gets knocked down. Normal recovery, or a quick rise in place, causes your character to get up more quickly than a delayed rise does. It's performed by pressing down or 2 punch buttons just as your character hits the ground. Back recovery, or a quick rise rollback, causes your character to quickly roll back and away from the opponent, and is performed by pressing back or 2 kick buttons just as you hit the ground. All 3 recovery options give the defender a small variable to throw off their aggressor's momentum. If you get thrown, you can't perform a back roll. You can only perform a delayed rise or a quick rise. And if your opponent sweeps you and they score a crush counter, you're forced to delayed rise. Crush counters are heavy attacks that cause severe hit stun when they counter hit, allowing for a follow-up attack. Each character has 2 or 3 heavy attacks that are considered crush counters. Some crush counters launch the opponent into the air to be juggled. Others leave them stunned on the ground for a follow-up attack, while sweeps force an unrecoverable knockdown. Make sure to familiarize yourself with your character's crush counter normals, and work on follow-up combos too. All characters have the ability to dash, both forward and backward. To dash, tap forward forward or back back. Forward dashing gives you a quick burst of speed and may catch your opponent off guard. Back dashing quickly puts distance between you and your opponent. But keep in mind that when under pressure, backdashing can be very risky. If you get hit during your backdash, you'll receive a counter hit, which can really hurt. Each character has their own set of special attacks, which are performed by combining directional inputs with the 6 basic attack buttons. Special attacks are divided into 2 main styles: input and charge. Input-style special attacks are performed by inputting a sequence of directions followed by an attack button. Ryu's Hadoken, or Fireball, is performed by pressing down, down forward, forward, and any punch button. A special attack's range, speed, and power can change depending on the strength of the attack button used to perform it. Charge-style special attacks are performed by holding a direction for 1 second, then pressing the opposite direction and an attack button simultaneously. Chun-Li's Kikoken, or Fireball, is performed by holding back for 1 second, then pressing forward and any punch button. The game allows for directional overlap when charging. For instance, Chun-Li can hold down back to prevent herself from walking backwards, and the game counts this as both a back charge and a down charge, which allows her to perform either Kikoken or spinning bird kick easily. Zoning is the idea of forcing your opponent to navigate a frustrating and dangerous obstacle course by using normals and specials to keep them at bay. When done properly, zoning forces the opponent to jump. This allows you to predict when they will jump, and thus more easily anti-air them. If the opponent jumps at you and scores a hit, they'll get a lot of damage out of it. So a big part of Street Fighter is making sure that doesn't happen. This process is known as anti-airing. Ryu's crouching medium punch is not a good anti-air, as it hits horizontally and not vertically. His crouching hard punch, however, is excellent due to its vertical range. Which attack is best suited as an anti-air will vary based on the situation, and sometimes it's better to meet your opponent in the air with a jumping attack of your own. The most powerful anti-airs are invincible special attacks, such as Ryu's Shoryuken. These attacks are momentarily invulnerable, and if timed right, guarantee a clean victory over any jumping attack. Punishing is the act of hitting an opponent who is still recovering after their attack is blocked or misses. Some attacks are easier or harder to punish than others, and it's up to you to familiarize yourself with which attacks can or cannot be punished. It's important to note that the range an attack is used from can determine whether it is or is not punishable. Correctly spacing your attacks will prevent you from being punished. Invincible special attacks are extremely vulnerable if they miss. You're guaranteed a crush counter when you punish them. Punishing with a sweep is simple and effective, dealing damage and forcing an unrecoverable knockdown. The harder you punish an opponent, the more they'll second-guess themselves the next time they try to use a risky attack. We'll go over some fancier combos in part 2 of this guide. Be sure to use the game's training mode to practice on your own. Pick a character and familiarize yourself with what each attack button does, practice doing some special moves, and use the record and playback feature to control the dummy computer and test out different scenarios.